Conservative leader Andrew Scheer has weighed in for the first time on a major finding of the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Inquiry. The inquiry's commissioners concluded that the treatment of Indigenous women and girls constitutes a genocide. The CBC's John Paul Tasker joins us now with the details. Hey, JP.
Hey, Vashi.
What did Mr. Scheer say when he was asked specifically about that finding of genocide?
Yeah, Andrew Scheer was clear today while he finds the level of violence against Indigenous women and girls to be a national tragedy, a tragedy for their families. He doesn't think it's appropriate to apply the genocide label to what's transpired in this country, and he rejects the inquiry's findings on that word. Take a look.
I believe, as most as Canadians do, that every single life lost is a tragedy, has a huge impact on families and loved ones, and that there are concrete things that the government can do, all levels of government can do, to help protect vulnerable people in our society, specifically Indigenous women and girls. That being said, the ramifications of the term genocide are very profound. They have a lot of that word and term carries a lot of meaning. I think that the tragedy involved with missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls is its own thing. It is its own tragedy. It does not fall into that category of genocide.
So it's its own thing. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we should be very clear here that Marion Buller, the chief commissioner of the inquiry, has said it's not fair to compare what's happened here in Canada to other genocides in recent history or in recent memory. Of course, the Holocaust and the Rwandan genocide come to mind. She says this is something different. And when you look at the 1948 UN Convention on Genocide, it's hard not to come to the conclusion. She says it's the inescapable conclusion that this was genocide, pointing to points in that declaration that say causing serious bodily harm, imposing measures to prevent the births of children, and forcibly transferring children are three different parts of what could constitute a genocide.
And the Prime Minister, JP, has also been on the receiving end of a lot of questions about the term as well. Initially, he didn't use, in the closing ceremony of the inquiry, he did not use the term. He later did. And earlier, today he was also asked again.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of movement from the Prime Minister on this file in particular. Of course, you'll remember he didn't say it at all on the first day, on the final day of the inquiry at its last meeting there, refusing to say it even after some people in the audience were kind of goading him on to say the word. The next day, he said he accepts the inquiry's findings, including that what has happened is tantamount to genocide. Today, in an interview with Radio-Canada, the French service of CBC, he said he actually prefers the term cultural genocide. Of course, cultural genocide is what the TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission on the Indian Residential Schools, that's what their conclusion was. They didn't go quite as far to say genocide. So he is also finding his language shifting on this front, not really willing to say outright that what happens to Indigenous women and girls in this country is genocide. So there's a lot of moving parts on this one, Vashi.
All right, thanks so much, JP. Hi, I'm Vashi Kapellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video. Thanks for watching.